What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another 5 minutes or less review. Today we're going to review A Snake in June from 2002. My bad, guys. The film is called A Snake of June. A Snake of June. Directed by and starring Shinja Tsukamoto, the director of Tetsuo the Iron Man and Tetsuo 2 Body Hammer. This is one of the films in the Asian Extreme Collection, Volume 3, the Japanese films. I think I've already reviewed the film Prey on here. So this is a Tsukamoto film. He's like a genre unto himself. I mean, I guess since there's horror involved and it's from Japan, you might say J-horror, but when I think of J-horror, I think of The Grudge and The Ring and things like that. Tsukamoto's his own thing. I was actually working in a video store when Tetsuo the Iron Man came out many years ago, and some of the reactions of people when they brought it back were just priceless. And me and the other clerk, whenever the phone rings, we would just say, mushy, 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 before the other guy answered the phone. Anyway, this one is not as extreme as that in terms of all the body horror and everything. And Tsukamoto himself stars in the film as this voyeuristic kind of a stalker who manipulates this couple. You have this very, and there they are there, this very prim and proper couple. The woman has short hair. She's kind of maybe a little sexually repressed. Her husband is like a salary man kind of a guy. He comes home and they eat, and he's obsessed with cleaning. So, I mean, he wants to clean every square inch of the sink, the little drain. He wants to clean every bit of it. She'll say, I'll do this. And he's like, no, I like doing it. So he's not like quite paying enough attention to her. And all of a sudden she gets a letter in the mail that says, here's your husband's darkest secrets. And there's some photographs involved of some compromising photographs. She, on a whim, did something kind of against her character, or that was atypical of her in public, and it's been captured on films. And then this guy starts to manipulate her and catches it all on film. He wants her to go out and interact with people in the mall and in stores while dressed in a very skimpy dress. And also when, she's using certain devices, and I'll leave it at that. And, when I think she sees somebody she knows and she's wearing this like real skimpy dress, and she gets very embarrassed. And he says, all right, you do all this for me, I'll get rid of the photographs. I'll give them to you. Well, it's not that simple. And eventually both her and the husband get caught up in it. And it's just sort of a wild tale of trying to escape this creepy voyeur guy. And who's, like I said, he's played by Tsukamoto himself. And it's it's a pretty wild movie. It has a pretty wild conclusion. You really kind of feel for this lady, especially. And her husband. Her husband's like, he's drawn into it later. And he's like, what the heck's going on? The casting is perfect for both. He's kind of like a little on the heavier side, kind of balding, not like super handsome or debonair or anything, but he gets like drawn into this, and it's wild. There's some crazy scenes in here that almost don't seem to make sense. You've got these guys wearing these devices on their head that have these apertures which open and close. At one point, somebody opens their coat and they've got this thing wrapped around their stomach with a tentacle. Having said that, if you've seen Tetsuo or Tetsuo 2, the body horror in this pales in comparison to that. It doesn't really go into that direction. I mean, those films were crazy, guys with giant mechanical wieners, and I mean, you'd have to see it to believe it if you haven't seen it. But this, having said that, if you're wondering, like, what does all that mean in the special features, the director says, people have asked me that, and I tell them I don't know. So if you haven't figured every little bit of it out by the end of the movie, don't feel bad, because apparently the director didn't know either. So but the conventional aspects of the story do play out rather satisfyingly. And it's a really interesting film. It's filmed in this kind of a blue and white kind of motif, almost like a cold sterile. Has a cold sterile look to it. It's raining all the time. There's a theme with circles, like she's looking through a skylight in a bathroom and feeling uncomfortable because she thinks she might be being watched. And, they did that because in modern times, and this is from 2002, but even back then, of course, we're always, on camera now, and we're always sort of being watched, and they kind of give you that idea. Yeah, really interesting. So A Snake in June, a very interesting film. Certainly not for everybody. Maybe if you're a little more adventurous, or if you've seen some other Tsukamoto films. I think Alucard ranked all the Tsukamoto films once on his channel. I'll have to ask him about that. I'll send him a message and see if we can have him let us know in the comments where this one ranks, because it is certainly a little bit different from the Tetsuo movies for sure. But let me know your thoughts. Come back again for another quick 5 minutes or less review, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.